Alaikum and welcome back to our channel. I was just having the most amazing discussion, and as random as I am, I said let's turn on the camera for my viewers. We were talking and continuing to talk with this wonderful gentleman about love. I said we're gonna come back another day. No, we're gonna talk about it today because it was getting really interesting. I want to introduce who's at the table. You will see these wonderful women. We already met Azad Abdurrahman Kahin, but I'm just going to let them introduce themselves, what they do, and then we're going to continue our love talks, which was so interesting.
Hi, my name is Hodo. I'm a mental health nurse. I specifically work in substance abuse. So recently moved from Montreal, and I'm now working with my sister on this NGO where we deal with autism and the effect that it has on our families and resources that are available to them.
Amazing.
Yes, my name is Edil. جعلكي بيجي من My son has autism, and because I love him, I decided to talk about autism and how we parents that are going through the same blessing that I'm going through.
Beautiful.
Why it's a blessing. It's a challenge. It's a blessing. You learn. You are changed, and So I help people. We have an NGO right now. marka waxaan ka hadlaa serviceska la helo, and also waxa important a lot of parents marka la yiraahdo your son has autism ama your daughter, your child is not dying.
Absolutely.
It's just different way and
it works differently.
Differently. Adigana as a parent, you have to get the help he needs or she needs.
And you know why I said let's turn on the camera? You probably, when I said we're going to be talking about love today, you don't know where your mind has went. When I hear this wonderful woman talk about her love for her son, talk about the challenge of autism being a blessing in her life. We were talking about with Abdurrahman Kahin. So this is part 2, by the way, guys. Part 1 we did right in our living room, and now we're in the dining room with Abdurrahman talking about the traditional love, its effects, its highs, its lows, and then untraditional, or what we wouldn't really assume to be love, is what we were discussing here. So I didn't want to miss a beat because I have 6 kids. I don't know where I'm going to get content. No, I'm just joking. This is amazing. I couldn't have even asked for more. When it comes to, Jael, who wants to share their perspective? Because I love your perspective. Is there anybody that wants to share a unique or different perspective that people wouldn't think was Jael? Especially when you were talking about in your field, something as simple as if you can just repeat what it is that someone can buy that can save a life, right?
Something that we can all buy, especially in Canada. I don't know if it's the same service in Maraykanka, but I know in Canada you can go to the pharmacy, your nearest pharmacy, and ask for a Narcan kit. Markas, the pharmacist will explain how it works, and this is life-saving because if you're on the street and you have it in your purse, and somebody's having an overdose, you can just give it to them and you can literally be saving someone's life. So that's my little bit of information that I can give to someone, and that's something that we can all do. You don't need to be a nurse or a doctor. It's just, it's a matter of just putting it in their nose and basically reversing the effect of this overdose that they might be going through. And just another thing is, if they are not overdosing on opioids and you give it to them, it has no adverse effect. You're not going to cause more harm if you give it to the wrong person. If it's opioids, you're saving their life. If it's not, well, it's something else. So yeah.
And to me, that's love.
Yeah.
Saving a life it transcends more than love. It's absolutely like the most virtuous thing I could think of.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to get your hopes up that we're not talking about love. I don't know where your mind went, guys. But traditionally, we know what love is. We were born of love. And this conversation is an absolute effect of love. And even though, wallahi, these girls are new to me, and this is when I talk about networking and allowing people to tell their stories. I want to talk to them, Hoda and Idil, more in detail about what they do specifically as a mental health nurse and as an autism advocate. I just wanted to let you guys have a glimpse of the world that I have privy to and privilege, because now I know how white people feel. Adanka, this is white privilege. It's like just having access to things that other people don't. So I have access to this amount of talent, mountain of resources, and I'm so privileged. And it was all just because he wanted to visit his friend, and his friend happens to be an advocate for children with autism. Her sister happens to be a mental health nurse. That's like hitting the lottery when it comes to my type of my passion, and that's love for me. I love you guys, even though I just met you. I love you for the sake of Ilahi. What you're doing is beyond amazing. And you, Mr. Connector. I thought I was a connector of people. Mr. Kahin.
Alhamdulillah. The love is something very important, and I think so there's different kind of love.
Absolutely.
And some love there is a price to pay, and some people they are ready to pay the price for that. Like I hear Edith saying, what I'm doing for my son is the love I have for him.
Absolutely.
And that's powerful. And I witnessed a lot of mom saying that to her kids, and less men, and especially the Somali community I know, less Somali men, when their son has that kind of sickness, they despair, il disparaît. In English we say disappear.
They just try to despair. And they despair.
And then you will see the mom suffering that.
By herself.
Yes, and that's something I would like the Somali man to be acknowledged. And when they get married, that I think so the love, that's the love when they get married. But if Allah gives them a son or a daughter with that conditions,
The blessing.
yes, exactly, and stay to be solidar, even though if they are not together, but sometimes the man choose the easy way, easy out.
Can you say that in French also? We might have some French viewers. If you can put that in French as well.
Oui, c'est que Edil avait dit l'amour dont elle porte pour son enfant qui a été diagnostiqué comme autisme. J'ai entendu beaucoup d'autres femmes, surtout de la communauté somalienne, où est-ce que leur enfant a été diagnostiqué de l'autisme. Et souvent, si ce sont de familles monoparentales, donc c'est souvent la mère qui prend en charge de l'enfant qui est autiste. Et puis plus l'enfant grandit avec l'âge, plus le défi est grand. Et après certain âge, tu peux plus garder ton enfant, surtout si c'est certains niveaux où que l'enfant n'est pas autonome. Donc c'est le gouvernement qui va prendre en charge. Et là, c'est aussi une déchirure pour la maman qui a gardé son enfant jusqu'à l'âge de, je sais pas, 18 ans, 19 ans. Je pense qu'il y a certains âges où est-ce que le gouvernement est obligé de l'enlever pour la sécurité et la santé de l'enfant. Donc, de plus en plus aussi, cette maladie, cette condition de l'autisme, on le voit dans la communauté. Ce n'est pas exclusif. Avant, on pensait que c'était exclusif pour les autres, à Danka. Mais maintenant, c'est devant chez nous. Donc, on doit, entre nous, se sensibiliser à ces choses-là. Et quand ça arrive, de le faire de la façon la plus noble. Donc de ne pas laisser la charge sur le dos d'une personne, et souvent c'est la mère que ça tombe cette charge. Donc j'ai une sympathie ça pour la maman somalienne, donc je trouve des héroïnes partout, hein, que ce soit quand tu vas à l'école, et quand j'aille dans les prisons, et que je vois des jeunes somaliens de 20 ans, 18 ans, 19 ans, 20 et quelques, souvent c'est la mère qui me sollicite à les aider. Donc souvent la mère prend le pot cassé de la famille. Voilà. Donc c'est une façon dont je peux dire il faudrait que le père somalien soit conscient de ces choses-là. Surtout les jeunes somaliens qui vont se marier aujourd'hui, qui ne se sont pas mariés, qu'ils sachent le mariage est un acte noble dont le prophète et que Dieu a honoré. mais ça vient avec une responsabilité.
Absolutely.
Si tu n'es pas prêt à prendre cette responsabilité, reste seul.
Voilà.
Voilà,
C'est ça le message.
Oui.
That's the message.
Si tu n'es pas prêt à prendre la responsabilité de la femme dont tu vas te marier, que ce soit dans le bonheur ou dans les difficultés, reste seul. Le même message s'en va envers les femmes. Mais souvent, ce sont les hommes qui démissionnent de leur fonction de père quand il y a de la difficulté. Donc ça, c'est le message que je lance. Que le père soit des pères présents, que ça soit qu'ils soient ensemble avec leur famille ou qu'ils ne soient pas ensemble. Je connais quelques couples qui ne sont pas ensemble, mais les deux personnes séparées s'entendent tellement bien que on pense qu'ils sont encore ensemble. Donc on peut toujours, parce que dans le travail dans lequel j'ai fait, j'accompagne les gens à une séparation saine. Parce qu'une séparation saine, c'est une séparation dont les deux assument et ils prennent les responsabilités. Alors que si la séparation n'est pas saine, elle est toxique. Et quand elle est toxique, il y a un qui se met à la place de la victime. He became a victim and he blamed the other person.
Absolutely.
And the other person can return to the other, and then both they're gonna blame each other, and then the kids they're gonna suffer about that relation.
Absolutely. Maya, when we talk about Jailka, we know how it all started, like you said. Jail Baliskuwibit, that's how we came about, and then these children come, and then we have to try to continue that love. We have to try to preserve that love and work together in collaboration to deal with whatever life throws at us, whether it's addiction, whether it's the blessing of autism or anything on the spectrum that you have to deal with as a parent, and all of these forms of love that we're discussing, all of these unique things and unique blessings that we have as humans is what I was really excited to share with all of you. Just so you know that out there in the world, there's people going through the exact same thing as you. It may be in different, under different circumstances. You might be a sole parent, you might be a dual or a two-person home dealing with this, but it's all love at the end of the day, different expressions of it, different forms, and I really, really enjoyed your company today, and I'm looking forward to discussing both of your professions more in detail. Is there anything you want to tell our viewers, except telling them to subscribe and like and share? That's my job.
I think you should tell them the name of the organization.
NGO.
Yes, your NGO.
Yes, you're right. You're right. It's called UVA, United Voice for Autism.
Amazing.
And the
Mashallah.
office is the same as Abdurrahman. Inshallah,
2255 Saint Laurent.
Boulevard.
Room 130.
We're gonna learn how to put the information at the bottom.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. So I just want to tell the mothers out there and the fathers, you're not alone. And usually we say it takes a village to raise a child.
It really
That's
does.
right.
A neurotypical child. Marka, imagine. It would take the whole planet.
A
Right?
neurotypical child. Is that
Ah,
neurotypical the proper and advanced way of saying it? In terms of being, because sometimes using the right terms is very important for our children's self-esteem, for our acknowledgement of self and what it is going on with our child. And yes?
Yeah, I will just add something. The people ask themselves now why the kind of the condition of autism become more and more, and there's other signals too related
On the
that
spectrum,
things,
yeah.
yes. But what we realize is when the baby is in the mom's stomach,
The womb.
Yeah.
that we have to be careful. If the mom stress, then there is more likely that children are gonna have some issue. That's another reason more we have to be careful when the mom, even before pregnant, during the pregnant, and after the pregnant.
That she
And
lives
then-
in a stress-free environment.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And then it's gonna transfer that with
The baby.
the baby. Exactly.
Love, again, showing more love and hadith towards one another, mercy. You can imagine, I've been through it. Anyone else who's had a child knows the amount of, we'll just edit that part out. Yeah, the amount of, like, I don't know what the word is. hardship. Yes, absolutely. That goes with it. So just in this and to have mercy for one another in this process of carrying the child is exactly what you're talking about, and it's preventative. So if we can do preventative things, it's always prevention is better than the cure. So
Vaut mieux prévenir que guérir.
how do you say it in French?
Vaut mieux prévenir que guérir.
MashaAllah. We are multilingual up in this joint, and I really admire these people. They took professionalism to another level, and then once we start talking about ja'il and the different types of ja'il, I just had to turn the camera on. Thank you guys so much. These are the discussions we're having in Ottawa, Canada. Nama gardan, in the words of Ilkasset. Like, you got to give credit where credit's due. I give credit to all of you for what it is you do, and thank you for bringing joy to my life. So we don't get into issues with children's aid and neglect. I got to get back to the baby. So
I want to just add something. Maybe it would be fun. One time I talk about Sha'ai, when the Prophet says, Sha'ai qofka jecesha u sheeg. Gabadh baa xanuunsatay aan garanayo oo muslimada oona saxaab nahay. Telefoon baan kula hadlay. Markii ugu dambeysay baan ku jecelahay. Islaanteedii bay garab joogtay.
So you gotta make sure you say Ja'il under the right.
Markaas bay igu tiri, Cabdiraxmaan, maxaa tiri aan maqla? Yeah. markaas waan ku jecelahay markaas sidii waa xaraan kuma oran kartid waan ku jecelku waa dhowr level baa jira kan waa kii walaalnimo.
And Abdurrahman knows this. My husband named Abdurrahman, he knows this. I tell people even when I met them, I love you. And I really mean that because there's Ilahi dirti naqafu ja'lan kartid. I love you for the sake of Allah. Even though I met you, thank you for having us in our home. I love you.
I love you too.
Oh, and I love you.
I love you more.
Oh, mashallah. And I love you.
I love you too.
We gotta practice. Practice our love languages, telling each other how much we mean to one another. You know, Somalia, we say, "Man, I'm going to Allah, bila, inanti way when next in it, inanti way next in it." We got to tell each other what we mean to each other while we're still here.
Yes.
And even though I just met you, I can tell that you guys are made just of radiance.
waxaa kaloo jirta reer Djibouti markay wax isku qorqorayaan kelmadaha israaciyaan qaarkood
Hiya?
bizu iyo kale
I know Bizu. I know a little bit about Djibouti.
marka maybe Sheikh Bashir baan weydiin doonaa su'aalo
يا بهلي كره Sheikh Abdurrahman Bashir بيوصل القاضي the king of Ja'il. Don't sleep on that Sheikh. That's one of our favorite Sheikh Abdurrahman Bashir. You heard it here first. Anyway, then we're gonna blame the professor, the doctor. What's it called? Abdurrahman Kane. Thank you for having us, our psychotherapist. Thank you for having us, our wonderful sister and advocate. Thank you for having us, Mia. I would like to having I'm not gonna know English is my second language. But thank you.
Let's be all thankful.
Our gratitude, our mental health nurse and professional. Those are titles, but the humanity وسكان مكانه Somalina وسكان مكانته تدمدو أو وطن كان كنا أو سبهم بانهاي مركب ونستعلنا هاي وانا إن جعلها هاي. Thank you. Please subscribe and like to our channel. Thank you.